I welcome you all on behalf of NAREDCO. This evening, everybody participating for this important workshop on DDA Green Development Area Policy. And I especially thanks our chief guest, Mr. Hitesh Vaidya, for attending this webinar conference here. Apart from us, all of us being here at India Habitat Center, we have around 150 people who joined us virtually also. Our president, Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani, and other office bearers of NAREDCO have also joined us virtually for this event. As you can see, all of them are there on the screen. So without any further delay, I will request, where is the Vice Chairman? I'll request Rajesh Goyalji, our Director General, to welcome everybody. Thank you very much. Over to you, sir.
Good morning and welcome to everyone. This is our first attempt to have a physical event. I joined NAREDCO last year in April, and for that long I've been longing to have some physical event, and good that it's a good beginning and a good subject. So welcome you all. Delhi, I'm a proud citizen of Delhi, and I've been in this building for 20 years. And I fortunately had a corner office in NAREDCO for on the 4th floor. And the view which I got from here was marvelous, outstanding. I can't get any other view like this. And such is the greenery of Delhi, so we all relish it and all that. Now, maintaining that, nurturing that, developing that, doing all that is required to do, keep the city green, sustainable and all that, has to be a cornerstone of any policy. So it's a good thing. I compliment DDA for coming out with this policy. And since now this is in public domain, and NAREDCO thought it would be good to integrities and smoothen the rough corners wherever it is possible. And fortunately, we have all the stakeholders here, and a lot of our stakeholders have joined digitally. We understand it's very difficult to people to join physically here, and especially with the COVID cases going so high. And good for me that my friend Hitesh is here, and he agreed immediately when we requested him. Thanks to Hitesh, and we have been together for last, I think, 20-25 years. So it's a good opportunity to have him on the first event, physical event, which we are having. Thanks to Rajiv sir, Praveen Jan sir, he is just joining, he's gone on a phone. So, and Bhupinder ji and Gaurav ji, they have been instrumental in doing all this. So thanks to everyone. And more importantly, all our leadership team from NAREDCO, from all over the country, including Niranjan sir, and everyone is online. We welcome them all. The press and media is also, a few of them are here, mostly are online. It's my privilege to welcome them. So, without wasting much of time, I'll like this consultation, because this is more consultation rather than formal. So, we'll like consultations to begin. I think, आप करेंगे, Praveen sir की wait करेंगे. Yeah, Raju sir, आप. Yeah, Raju sir can take over, then Praveen sir आएंगे तो he'll take it. Thank you very much.
Anywhere. You can speak from there, no problem, sir, please.
Okay, sir, thank you. Hitesh ji, Gaurav, Praveen, of course, Rajesh ji, and most of all, our president, Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani, if he's there, he's the doyen of our industry and leads NAREDCO very effectively for all the initiatives that they've taken. In fact, I was just commenting to Gaurav that we are lucky to have a program in Delhi, because normally it is Rajan Bandelkar and Mr. Hiranandani who take the lead in organizing programs and give a lot of initiative and push to NAREDCO as an organization. So Gaurav has done a stellar job with the help of Mr. Vaidya, of course, I'm sure. But the best thing to see over here is so many ladies present. Because I think if ladies are there, the thinking has to be much more clearer than men. The angularity of thinking is much lesser amongst ladies than in men. And normally, we men are the ones, and most of all, I guess, bureaucrats here, or ex-bureaucrats, who've created what I think, Manisha ji, you were saying the mess in Delhi. But it's not really such a bad place, as Mr. Goel said. It's not really such a bad place if we see the kind of greenery which has existed. And maybe in fits and starts, every organization, whether it is DDA, whether it is the larger MCD or the 3 MCDs now, or NDMC, they've done a fairly good job of providing you a good quality of life. I think we people in Delhi are more fortunate than many, many other cities and perhaps many places in the world. We've had peace over here. We've had good education over here. It's a great thing for a lifetime, and I can tell you I'm no youngster today. We've lived through a time where good education and good citizenship has meant a lot of progress. We Indians are given to running down ourselves and saying that everything is in a mess. It is not really so. It has not been in a mess, and I think for the last 30 years, what we've seen of Mr. Narasimha Rao's government, what we've seen of Dr. Manmohan Singh, and most of all now with Mr. Modi, I think we are a nation which is so fast changing that if anything, we need to set things right, which may have gone wrong, but we have no need to despair. We were not in a mess. 1,000 years of history cannot be neglected. You've had a history which is bad. Maybe it is 2,000 years before that. We are a civilizational country. We are a civilization here. We trace ourselves back to 5,000 years. We did have a caste system which is totally, totally wrong. No Brahmins knew what their education was. Today the Brahmins who know education and who've done well are people who can be Ajay Banga in USA. They can be Satya Nadella, they can be Indira Nui. Those are the people who are learned. But please look at the common mass of people who comes in from Bihar, Tamil Nadu, Odisha. All our plumbers come in from there. Bihar, I mean, everyone over there, your services are full of people who've been through competition. It's not that they only were writing competitions, but there is a tradition of education. And therefore, this country has been through a lot of, it took 2,000 years for us to lose out. Whether it was the Chinese, the Mongols, the Greeks, the Mesopotamians, there were other Roman civilization, there was the Egyptians. How come no one could cross over? Indians crossed over with trade. Indians crossed over with Buddhism in all over Asia. But no one was able to come and rule over this place. And then you had highway robbers. Who was Mahmud Ghazni? He didn't even have a force. He used to make it like an IPL every year. 17 times the guy came and he went right up to Somnath. But you did have people who came and settled and made a living. Qutub Minar is standing there. Lots of monuments are standing there. Lots of forts are standing in India. Lots of temples stand in India all over the country. I think a lot of science, a lot of progress had taken place. Somewhere we went down. We are coming back as an independent country. Shashi Tharoor has made it very famous, and it's now all over the world, what the British and what the colonial powers did to this world. You and I have not been through that. How many Indians can ever claim that we were made slaves and taken away? But imagine a continent like Africa, what happened to that continent? And USA, very progressive, the highest GDP, and the only country to have human slavery legitimately. Who can talk of that? We don't even say that there is any legitimacy given to the caste system in India. But the US practiced human slavery. You can imagine if one child is taken away, you all remember that photograph from the Syrian refugee, that little boy lying dead on the beach. How much it troubles you? How many families have been distorted, destroyed? You can imagine for what happened in Africa for 300 years. So it's a ever-changing world. We are into that kind of place here today. All of you have a very, very grave responsibility to chart out the future of Delhi. And I'm sure, Manisha ji, you will play your role. I know Manju has done it. Extremely positive, extremely helpful. And in organizations where you were normally a little bit apprehensive ki kya hoga. So today, what do we find today? We are doing the green development area policy. First, we saw the land pooling policy. I think Manjuji is much better to speak on it than I am. Ki what happened to the land pooling, and will people give land away to an organization without acquisition, without, voluntarily will they give it away? We've seen that today, if you have the list of speakers, very impressive list that Gaurav has drawn in, people like, Hidesh are here, you are here, ma'am, there are lots of architects over here, there are lawyers over here. I'm sure they will be pointing out many more meaningful things, that how can we make a success of Delhi. You do have people, yes. I've seen the first panel, which is either Kuldeep, Bhupinder ji, I think Deepak Seth has been replaced by somebody else, Mr. Manish Agrawal. There's Arvind Nanda Bindo who's there from Dera Mandi. That's the first pressure which you will have, or the first group which will actually contribute to this green policy, which is like the floors went up. All colonies of Delhi had 1.5 or maybe then 2.5. And for the last 40 years, we've seen 4 floors coming up. A very good policy of stilts for parking, otherwise roads are full of cars and progress has to take place. So cars came up, the farms will get not monetized, but lots of people will provide for expanding families. Where you have 2 or 3 children, maybe from one farmhouse you will have 2 or 3 houses in the same farm of 2.5 acres. You may call it one house per acre, 12,000 square feet, EWS. You will have to tweak the rules. The second will be people who have owned. They can be villagers, they can be people in the Dehat Sangh which is there, which is going to be represented, or you will have people who have invested in lands. And that can be many people. They can be small developers who have invested in lands in Delhi, hoping that some change will come in the policy. You can also have people, officers. Lots of officers in this city and in this country have invested in lands over the last 70 years. And they've all kept the land over there, hoping that there will be a policy and they will be able to monetize it. Lots of villagers, for instance, Gurgaon is a success story, or Haryana is a success story, where lots of villagers have become wealthy, and hopefully now youngsters are much more aware. I hope women take the lead in teaching many young men and their families a right sense of investment, and they will invest in education, they will invest in industry, and then not waste money like it is heard very often it is done. And then you will have the grave responsibility of people who are working in the DDA, in the Ministry of Urban Affairs and Housing, and all the MCDs. Their responsibility will be what we've seen last year. We've had a huge outflow. Hi Kuldeep. Ki haal hai ji? So you will have a lot of people who will be coming in, and we've seen migration last year all over India. It became a crisis for India because anyone, you have to decide, at least my view is that those who had a pakka chhat over their head did not leave Delhi or did not leave the towns. But lots of them who were staying in slums, in unauthorized colonies, who had no ownership rights, they perforce had to go, and it created a human crisis. So I think while we are discussing the green development area policy, I think what you will have to really take into cognizance, because that is one class which will go unrepresented even in this gathering. And that class is the poor. Your labor which comes from outside, nobody cares for them. All the apartments which are being made and all the farms which I have seen, not one of them has enough place for the labor to stay. सब एक के ऊपर एक चढ़े रहते हैं. Many of them come from slums. There is no factory owner in Delhi who can ever say that I've provided a housing for my workers. Whether they come from slums, whether they come from unauthorized colonies, is the least concern to them. Each one of them and each one of us who is here today is not providing for society. You're providing for yourself. And that is what the Indian custom has become. Apni socho, dusre ki chodo. And that is your 1000 years of history. When there were foreigners ruling it, it was each one for himself and God for us all. So if you have to live in independent India, which you are planning for the next 50 years to 100 years, one mistake made by Pandit Nehru, 1957, so many good policies of his, IITs, IIMs, peaceful coexistence between the two blocks of Russia and communist and the Americans, but that was DDA. The entire development in this nation came to be owned by development authorities. Who gives you the power? That officers need to have that power to decide what will be the future. Because please remember, we are also officers. The existence of officers and the political executive in a poor country is rationing, licensing. We've seen two waves against this in this country. One was the exporters. Given a tax relief, they did a marvelous job. They fell back when that industry got controlled. Today you have the IT industry. The beacon of this country's development, IT. And we still don't have a ministry which is all powerful. But development, urban development, we only get power when we create a shortage. Where is there a surplus of housing in this country? If 50% of every city, every town in this country is living in slums and unauthorized colonies, then sorry, we need to rethink. And I think that is the big thing which you are doing today. Please rethink. You will come out with very good policies. This green area development policy is a great harbinger of good policy making. People will benefit by it. People will monetize it. People will provide. But please think, and I am so grateful for ladies being here, that you can call a spade a spade. Very often men don't call a spade a spade. But ladies have the power to do that. They do it all the time in the house. They are the ones who teach their husbands and their children the right way about life. And I'm sure you'll provide for policy making, that please provide for housing for the poor. If you are not able to get 50,000 to 1 lakh dwelling units in this city and in every super metro of 300 square feet size, with land being priced almost at zero, which you've done in DDA. When it came, we've seen a development in Delhi, it's come up. There are 3,000 flats, but there are 1,500 EWS, what is called, we call it CSP, Community Service Provider, accommodation of 300 square feet each. Yes, it should be lower, I think, it should not be high-rise like 15, 20. Bombay is planning even 40 stories. But it's much easier to manage, lower technology, lower cost, if it is 8 to 10 floors with modern amenities. I mean, there's some excellent designs. NAREDCO has offered to the Prime Minister's office, not now, but for the last 5-6 years, that we will give you good for construction plans free of cost. We've seen it actually. People in Maharashtra live very cleanly. Nobody places a shoe inside the house. It's a 1 BHK and extremely well planned. All your systems come on the outside. They're exposed. They're easy to repair. They've got lifts. They've got service lifts. People are living there. And each one of those, we've made about 2,100 over there till now. Another equal amount has to be made. Each one of them is a crorepati because that area is right in Tardeo. It's behind the Willingdon Golf Club. It's right next to the Mahalakshmi race course. So anyone getting a 300 square foot carpet area dwelling unit is either a crorepati or a 1.5 crorepati. So please, you have to provide for that. This policy is a great policy. It will come to the benefit of everyone, but we must have an provision for housing for the poor. It's not just enough. Manjuji and I have had a long innings looking after convention centers. And it's being made. That big one, we had to pay 1,000 crores for 35 acres. The new convention center is being made over 350 acres, I thought. With the logistics, Dwarka, for 1 rupee. It is a true thing. Whether it was Amitabh Kant, whether it was I, we said you cannot have a convention center. By nature, it's not a profitable business. You cannot monetize. That's where the problem lay with DDA and with all the planning bodies, but not because the problem was caused by them. The problem is that all of us who are discussing today belong to institutions which have to be transparent, which are open to public scrutiny, which cannot do any favors, and therefore the best way is the tender system, which lends you into a problem. The best way is a licensing system which lends you into a problem. In any city, any municipality, is it not rent seeking? None of you know that completion के लिए pay करना पड़ता है. None of you know that sanction के लिए pay करना पड़ता है. And yet, new systems are being developed. They are going online. They are being made faceless. Even income tax is being made faceless. So therefore, changes are possible. It's you and I who have to make the changes. I'm so grateful to NAREDCO, to Gaurav, to Praveen Jain, to everyone all over the country who've supported us in NAREDCO for getting this program through. And we really look to all of you who are leading citizens of this country, who are the leading intellectuals, leading architects, town planners, and National Institute of Urban Affairs to show us the way. हमारे मार्गदर्शक आप बनिए. Because lots of conflicting interests have to come together to make a vibrant country and a vibrant city. Thank you very much for taking time, but just wanted to highlight this aspect of housing for the poor, which has got neglected in the last 70 years. And that is why we have slums, and that is why we have unauthorized colonies on government land. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. So now I would like to request our President, Dr. Ranjan Hiranandani, to please speak. And sir, just to update you, sir, right now we have around 150 people who are, of course, joined us on Zoom. And in person, we have around 40 plus people from across the, you can see, in sector, including EDA, who have, of course, joined us. And Mr. Hitesh Vaidya, who is our and chief guest from NIUA, he is also on the panel, sir. So over to you, sir. Ranjan, sir.
A very good morning to each and every one of you. Thank you very much for this wonderful program that has been organized. A special thanks to Mr. Gaurav Jain, which I believe has taken the great initiative and coordinated the entire program. Thank you very much, Gaurav Ji. It's such a pleasure to see that you are very active in this whole subject. Of course, my chairman, sir, it is wonderful of your introduction and giving a whole idea of the holistic situation that real estate in this country is going through. So thank you very much, Mr. Rajiv Talwar. Thank you for being with us all the time and leading this entire industry and now the state. Thank you very much, Hitesh Vaidya. Thank you for being with us here today. Manjuji, all the rest of the people who are here online and offline as I am today. Unfortunately, Maharashtra is in a bad situation. We just followed up with Delhi and our situation has got worse, so it was not advisable for me to travel. So I'm missing to be physically available with you, but I guess I'm trying to do the second best thing that I can possibly do, which is to communicate to you through this VC. So thank you very much for that. I will dwell only on two small points that I would like to state. The first being that, and I continue from where Mr. Rajiv Talwar ends, which is what is our responsibility in order to continue the development of this great region of the Delhi region, or NCR as it is. And I think the Green Development Area Policy becomes extremely important. You and I are both aware, unfortunately, that the kind of pollution which Delhi sees because of what has happened in the last couple of years, whether it is on the agricultural side, whether it is on the vehicular side or any other matter, we are indeed in a sorry situation where the capital of India goes through such pollution norms. I think the idea of a green development area policy itself is a positive thought process that you have brought on the table. And I think anything and everything that we can possibly suggest in this direction is going to be good for our capital, for our cities, for our region, and this becomes extremely important. Whatever you can do, whatever little individuals can do, whatever the state can do, whatever DDA can do, whatever each one of us can contribute, I think becomes extremely important in order to save our cities, save our country, and the future of development. It's important, and Mr. Rajiv Talwar, we both have children and grandchildren, and even my sambandhis are from your great city. All of them are worried about the kind of pollution the city has thrown up. And I'm sure that this green development policy will go a long way in order to reverse the trend which has taken place. So this, along with a focus on what we want to do in terms of making this paradigm happen, is going to be extremely important. We are going to suggest definitely on what should be the agricultural policy and the technology inputs that are required in order to stop the pollution. I'd say not reduce the pollution, stop the pollution. I think that is going to be extremely important. The other part of it is vehicular pollution. I think the metro has come in. We need to get vehicles and buses which are non-polluting. All these are going to go a long way in order to see that Delhi makes a paradigm change. So I wish you the very, very best on making the green Delhi that people will be attracted to, not feel unhappy about staying over there, not worrying about the children's health, not worrying about the future of how we are going to face this disease of pollution that is there, adding on to the issue of COVID. So all in all, I wish you the very, very best. Thank you very much for making a wonderful program, a great policy. I'm sure that we will add inputs to the policy so that it becomes something which we will relish and cherish. The kind of great Delhi which was designed earlier, and that concept which was created has lasted 250 years. I do hope that the green development policy will be similarly visionary, which people will remember and say, oh, this was the policy which made the second change to Delhi from a polluting area, from a negative area, from an area where people were worried about the quality of life. The area has now begun to see a change, and they will thank and bless you for whatever you are doing today. So all the very best to you, and one and for all, on behalf of NAREDCO and all of us here today and all the members today, I wish this new ideas, new concepts, and new leadership the maximum success. And every professional sitting over here today and speaking owes it a great duty to do. I know Manisha Natarajan is also here anchoring some of these programs, and I think she will also ask really important questions as to how we can make this paradigm happen. How can we do these changes? I know that she, being from Delhi, will be able to ask the right questions in order to see the correct policy is created by the government and by industry and by the professionals. Congratulations, wish you all the best. Keep safe, all of you, and keep healthy so that we can meet physically very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Thank you very much. So now we'll request our chief guest, Mr. Hitesh Vaidya, to please address all of us. Thank you so much for joining, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'd like to add a word before sir speaks, is that, under the aegis of NIUA, which was required by DDA, we have this beautiful policy in place with us. So maybe sir can give us a very high level understanding of what has gone behind the scenes, which somehow we at the ground level don't know about. So once the vision is in place, I think we can deliberate very well thereafter. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And thanks for inviting me. Thanks, Rajesh ji, to invite me Thanks, sir. It's a privilege to sitting next to you. Till my 20 years of career, I was this side listening you, and today sitting here itself is a big privilege. and Hiranandani ji, but you articulated very well, so it's a great honor to be here. I come from National Institute of Urban Affairs, and we are supporting DDA to prepare Master Plan of Delhi 2041. When I joined last year, I was a country representative of UN Habitat, and I joined and I was told we are working for last 3 years developing Master Plan of Delhi 2041. I was saying, where is the planner on the earth who can plan for Delhi 2041? Do we have that vision at this moment? I was really scared. I was skeptical. I didn't know whether this assignment which we have taken up in our hands, we will be able to fulfill. But I will tell you, with the support of DDA, we have submitted a first draft to them, which is under discussion. And I see this green area development policy and land pooling policies are the key ingredients for this master plan. But as you said, this whatever we do today is not for us to enjoy. It's the fruit which our next generations will really cherish for that fruit. And tell you very frankly, and being very candid, every day when I go home and I tell my child, who is also studying in Delhi, I am part of the team which is looking at, working on the master plan of Delhi 2041. He just looks at me and he says, don't joke. There is the whole generation, the young generation, they have lost the faith in the planner. They have lost the faith in the governance system of our cities. And that is the biggest challenge. Challenge is not to prepare the policy. Challenge is not to prepare a master plan of Delhi. Challenge is how do you retain this faith of young generation on our governance system of the country. And I think that's where we all planners have to really put our head, because they are saying that things are not happening. And how do you really bring that? And that's where I see the role of National Institute of Urban Affairs when I started was not to prepare a master plan of Delhi. That's not a National Institute is preparing a master plan of one city. We are a National Institute. Idea was, can we create the principles of planning which then can be replicated across the country? And I think Delhi gives that opportunity to you. To create those principles, establish those principles of planning which have been lost over a period of time, to bring them back, to rejuvenate them and take it to the next forward. And that's the challenge which we are trying to work out right now, is how do we work on master plan of Delhi and establish those principles which then can be replicated or applied by different cities. Because what we are seeing, as you said very clearly and said, mess. We don't want a whole country to go to that mess. So the learning from this mess is an opportunity to rebuild. And I think that's what we should be really thinking about. Post-COVID and COVID, we saw what has happened, and I don't want to, you articulated very well, poor living, but what it brought is that there is a life beyond city. What is the city we want to define? There is always a dependence on rural area. There is people who have houses and people don't have shelter, they went out. But again, we are also seeing reverse migration coming back, because economy is much more important. The lessons which we learned in COVID, if we could, our cities could survive. And today we are sitting here right now having this discourse. It means without all these challenges, we worked. The cities worked, the systems worked, maybe bad, wrong, ugly, but we did show the cities. And I think one thing we should all do is give a big hand to the city's leadership. Because of their efforts, today we are actually surviving. We might have challenges, we might have issues, but still with all the problems, we are still surviving, we are still working, and India is much better than any other countries, even though second wave may not be that, but first wave we really showed a way to the whole country. So I think cities do work. We have a system, we have a problem, we have a thing. So I don't think so today's discussion we will be focusing on green development area policy, but I think the COVID has shown the business as usual will not happen. We need to start thinking new ways of doing things. We need to start. And one thing which came up during the COVID, and I say, is it was very, very clearly all the action was at a local level. There was no one textbook or MBD which we used to read and pass our exams. That won't work. You have to have a local contextual thing, and neighborhood planning became much, much more stronger than anything else. So we need to focus, go to a granular level of neighborhood planning, which we have lost somewhere. You know, we in our whole archaic laws of British, which we imbibed, we have lost that concept of neighborhood planning. You know, the master plan has to come down to the neighborhood, even though we have a general plans, we have others, but we need to really start getting back to the neighborhood planning. And greenery for our lungs became a much, you know, thing. We started looking at public places. We started looking at talking about these whole concepts which we were like, you know, used to read during our planning courses, started coming up that this is the reality that we need to imbibe and which we have forgotten and need to push. And I think this is the post-COVID, that opportunity which is coming up, that let's start thinking our planning processes again, and how the master plan does not, you know, there is a lot of criticism of master plan exercise, but I don't want to get into that, but I think master plan has to be more strategic plan rather than just a master plan, and it has to be more implementable plan. So while green development area policy or land pooling policy, they are good initiatives by DDA, and we are very happy and fortunate to support work with DDA to come up with that. I think the challenge is bringing policy to practice. And that's where we are more weak. And nobody talks about, we all talk about cities not happening, planning not happening, but I think the biggest challenge is the governance system of cities has to be much more strengthened. Who owns this policy? Who really implements this policy? I think that's where I'll give you an example. Maybe it may not be politically right, but I'll give you, when we were doing one of the big mission, I was working on a guideline of that mission within the ministry, and final version was going out, and I was asked, do a last proofread of this guideline. And I read the proofread, and they said, all fine? I said, fine, but I have one submission. And being a consultant at that side, other side, it's not easy to pass a comment on that book which has been worked on. I said, there's a small thing. There's not even a single para in this book who will actually implement this mission. That's missing. He said, no, that cannot happen. I said, you can read. I read it. What to be done, how to be done, where to be done is all talked about. Who will do it? It's not even talked about in this. And I think that's the biggest challenge we need to really talk about. And I will think, while we are working in a master plan, we are talking about these ingredients like green policy or land pooling policy. I think the focus should be the implementation mechanisms of this policy has to be really thought about. And how do we monitor this? You know, what happens, plan once prepared and then forgotten. Then it comes, while 21 plan is now being thought about at 2021, 2041, we will start saying what went wrong. So I think this is an opportunity, and we have, I see these deliberations, you know, people like you coming up with a lot of challenge. Today we are with the second and coming, because it sees that there is a desire to do something. And that is why it's not that it's a government dictate, come here and do a workshop. You all have come, organize this workshop, is that we all want that change to happen. We all wish that Delhi changes. And that is why we are even putting our life in the risk, not for ourselves, but the next generation, where we can go and see on their eyes and say, this is what we have left behind for you to look at it. Because right now, if I say, working in the National Institute of Urban Affairs for 1 year, I think somewhere we have lost urban into it. We are only talking about National Institute of Affairs. Urban is nowhere there. And I think that's where the challenge is, to bring urban into National Institute of Urban Affairs. And we call ourselves a think tank. Again, I will say that, you know, thinking is happening in the corridors of power, and we are either pushing the tank, pulling the tank, or below the tank. We are not even the driver's seat of the tank. And you talk about guidance, and I think the guidance will come if we start working. And you see National Institute of Our Affairs, a platform where you can raise your voices, and we become a bridge between the practitioner and the policymakers and create. I will be more than happy to be that bridge for yourself. Yeah, so that's the role I want to play. Last 1 year, I come from UN Habitat, so I was a country representative there. And I asked, last 3 years I was thinking, what are the key asks state and cities have from UN Habitat? They were asking 5 things. Tools, give us tools to do things. They were talking about templates. How do I have a quick template where I can work on it? Give us technologies which are happening across the world, and we can apply those technologies to make it better. Give us training and capacity building, handhold us, guide us, and last, give us a best practices from the globe and position us better into the whole ecosystem. And when I look at NIUA, I think these are the 5 asks all our states and cities have from NIUA. And I'm saying if I call it after 1 year, I may be a good errand boy of the ministry, but I am not fulfilling that task as of now. And that's where I'm happy to work with you. If we can work together to come up with those 5 things, which we can give it to states and cities to work on those tools and all, because NIUA is actually a UN habitat of the country. Because they have a member states, and 27 states and union territories are my member states. We need to really utilize that jointly. And I see this workshop, this deliberation, not just to exchange ideas, not only to give direction, but whatever you think today will be a part of Master Plan of Delhi. And we have this opportunity to influence, because Master Plan of Delhi will also be for a public consultation very soon. We have given, they are deliberating it, it will be out. So all of that will be actually leading a big vision which we are talking about Delhi. And if we can make Delhi a better place to live, a green place to live, a sustainable, and I call it sustainable has become such a good word that whenever you don't want to abuse someone, you tell him you are sustainable, that means you are talking about. So, but this sustainability has to be defined locally, contextually, and every city has to come up what its thing. There's no one can dictate it. It has, all the solutions has to be local and contextual. And I think that's the challenge which we have to do. And green development policy is very much local. Talk about Delhi issues, talk about Delhi's pollution issues. President Sir has already talked about mobility issues, and all of these things. Green alone cannot be a green, and that just. I also remember when we started saying I was a part of USAID project, and we said we want to do a green infrastructure. One of the JS says, what do we mean green water supply? He says, for us at that time, and I'm thinking the thinking has changed. That time he said green means I will put one water supply with a green color and one pipeline with the other color. That means a green water infrastructure. But I think the green has to be looked at in a larger perspective. Green has to look at how we retain our water bodies. Green has to look at how do we improve our green economy. Green has to be looked at how we create our recreational spaces green. Green has to be looked up from the migration and informal sector point of view. So green is not just planting trees or creating a green spaces, but green has to be looked into a larger context and a sustainable context. And I think that's the opportunity which we have today to deliberate upon. And I see this, there's no magic mantra that I have one magic mantra and I'll do and Delhi becomes a green development city. We all has to come together, and I think this workshop is that opportunity where we can collaborate, discuss, deliberate, and come up with the solutions which can have a long-term solution, because always we say that there's a supply side, everything comes from the top and nothing, and this is an opportunity where bottom can start talking about what we want. So demand and supply balance can happen, and I think that I look at it, we can, if work together and have this consultation, come up with a very, very concrete suggestions, which can not only part of the what should be in the green development policy, but also look at how should Delhi be? And some of those suggestions can, while we are revising and go to a public consultation for master plan of Delhi, they can get integrated into a larger master plan of Delhi. So with that, thank you once again for inviting me. And I hope, I wish all the success for today's deliberations and wish you all the best. But as I close, I still say, please use National Institute of Urban Affairs as a platform, a bridge between the practitioners and the policy makers, and we will be happy to be that platform for you. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, sir. So this session will extend for 10 more minutes because we started a little late. So I think the next session we have the 50 minutes buffer with us. So.
And thank you so much, Hitesh sir, for joining us and sparing your valuable time today. And now I will request Bhupinder Hazard ji, who is President Delhi Master Plan Committee and of Delhi Dehat Vikas Manch. He was really helpful and instrumental in, you can see, in guiding us and throughout this workshop, inviting eminent speakers and of course helping us out with the overall program. So we are really thankful to you, sir, and over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sumit. आदरणीय श्री राजीव तलवार जी, NIUA के डायरेक्टर श्री हितेश वैद्य जी, मंजू पॉल जी DDA से, और मनीषा मैडम जी DDA से, और स्पेशल थैंक्स मैं हीरा नंदानी जी को और मेरे बड़े भाई गौरव जैन जी को देता हूँ कि इन्होंने इतना अच्छा कार्यक्रम ये इस पॉलिसी के लिए ऑर्गेनाइज़ किया है अभी, और आशा है कि इसका हम लोग सभी को, जितने स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, इसको सबको आगे इसमें बेनिफिट मिलेगा, सब लाभान्वित होंगे। आप सभी के सुझाव सुनकर लगा कि अब दिल्ली के अंदर जो आप लोगों ने गाइड किया, जो बताया, काफ़ी अच्छा डेवलपमेंट होने जा रहा है, मगर इसके अंदर कुछ चीज़ों का हमें ध्यान रखने की ज़रूरत है। जैसे कि लैंड पूलिंग पॉलिसी भी पहले आई थी, मगर उसके अंदर इम्प्लीमेंट होने में थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम आ रही हैं, उसके वेरिफिकेशन प्रोसेस या उसकी मैपिंग प्रोसेस, उन सब में धीरे धीरे डिले चल रहा है। तो ऐसा ना हो कि हमारी जो GDA पॉलिसी बहुत अच्छी शानदार पॉलिसी, ग्रीन डेवलपमेंट एरिया पॉलिसी बनी है, इसकी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन भी ऐसे बाधाएं ना आएँ, तो उनका हमें ख़ास तौर पे ध्यान रखने की ज़रूरत है। तो आप जो DDA के या NIUA के डायरेक्टर्स हितेश जी आए हैं, तो इनसे अनुरोध है कि इनको थोड़ा ध्यान देकर इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने में थोड़ा फास्ट प्रोसेस में करें। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि अभी नोटिफिकेशन, ड्राफ्ट पॉलिसी के लिए नोटिफिकेशन आया हुआ है, और इसमें सभी RWA, इसमें संबंधित जो फार्म हाउस एसोसिएशन हैं, इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, सभी लोगों ने इसमें पार्टिसिपेट किया हुआ है। तो इनके अंदर जितना भी पॉलिसी को हमारे को इस वर्कशॉप से समझने का मौका मिलेगा, और इसके अंदर जो भी कमियां होंगी उसको दूर करके हम जल्दी से जल्दी इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकें, उसके लिए हमारे को टाइम मिलेगा। सभी इन्वेस्टर या जितने लोग हैं, उन्होंने लगभग 50,000 करोड़ रुपया अभी तक दिल्ली के अंदर इन्वेस्ट हो चुका है, सिर्फ ग्रीन बेल्ट डेवलपमेंट पॉलिसी के अंदर। तो इन्वेस्टर अपने स्तर से सोचता है, RWA अपने स्तर सोचती है। मैं दिल्ली देहात की बात करूंगा, क्योंकि दिल्ली देहात के जो लोग हैं वो इसको बिल्कुल अलग नज़रिए से देखते हैं। इन्वेस्टर देखते हैं कि इसके अंदर हमने इन्वेस्ट किया, उसके ऊपर योजनाएं बनाते हैं, उसके अनुसार ही अपना रिटर्न की गणना करते हैं। मगर दिल्ली देहात के लोगों के लिए ये एक बिल्कुल अलग प्रोस्पेक्टिव, एक नई तरीके की पूरी नई प्रक्रिया शुरू हो गई है। उनके आवास, रहन सहन, उनकी शादी, उनके ब्याह, सारे के सारा ये DDA की जो पॉलिसी हैं उसके ऊपर बिल्कुल पूर्णतः आश्रित होते हैं कि कैसे वो डेवलपमेंट आगे इम्प्लीमेंट कितनी स्तर पर कितनी जल्दी हो पाएगी। तो ये दिल्ली देहात की बात को, कोई चाहे उनकी बीमारी हो, चाहे विवाह हो, कोई भी चीज़ें होती हैं, तो वो सारा का सारा इन पॉलिसीज़ पर डिपेंड करता है। उनका सारा सब कुछ बदल जाता है। उनकी जनगणना या उनकी गणना इस चीज़ से नहीं होती है कि मेरे को इतना इंटरेस्ट कमाना है या इतना, उनका तो पूरा जीवन ही इसके ऊपर, उसकी लैंड के ऊपर ही निर्भर होता है। मेरी आपसे प्रार्थना है कि किसान भाइयों का आप लोग दर्द समझेंगे और इसको पॉलिसीज़ को पेपर पे आने के बाद जल्दी से जल्दी इम्प्लीमेंट करने के प्रक्रिया को ध्यान में रखेंगे। ये हमें बड़े अच्छे से सुनिश्चित करने की ज़रूरत है। हमारे पास उच्च एक बड़ी इम्पॉर्टेंट भी है, क्योंकि दिल्ली की डेवलपमेंट में ये एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण योगदान, चाहे लैंड पूलिंग पॉलिसी है चाहे जीडीए पॉलिसी है, बहुत महत्वपूर्ण योगदान देगी। एक उच्च श्रेणी की यहाँ पर प्लानिंग और डेवलपमेंट होगी, तो इस चीज़ का हमारे पास एक सुनहरा मौका है कि इसको हम उसके पार्ट बन रहे हैं, उसका एक हिस्सा बन रहे हैं, और इसमें आप लोगों का सभी का सहयोग की ज़रूरत भी होगी। और अब दिल्ली देहात की तरफ से हम लोग इसके अंदर ड्राफ्ट सुझाव और इस मीटिंग के बाद हम लोग साझा करेंगे डीडीए के साथ भी, तो उनको जल्दी से जल्दी जितना अच्छा जो क्रक्स निकल के आएगा उसका आपसे साझा करेंगे, और प्रैक्टिकल जो समस्याएं हैं वो आप लोगों के सामने रखेंगे, तो आप उनको कंसीडर कीजिएगा उसमें बदलाव करने की प्रक्रिया में। मिनिमम गवर्नमेंट और मैक्सिमम गवर्नेंस के सिद्धांत को, इसकी स्प्रिट को लागू करने की ज़रूरत है हमारे को। और मैं दिल्ली देहात की तरफ से आश्वासन देता हूँ कि एक अच्छी, ईमानदार, प्रोफेशनल, इनोवेटिव पॉलिसी को हम इम्प्लीमेंट करने में अपनी तरफ से पूरा सहयोग देंगे, और इसके लागू करने की प्रक्रिया में जितना भी हमारे से बन पड़ेगा हम आप लोगों के साथ हैं, कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर चलने के लिए तैयार हैं। आज की मीटिंग में जो भी बिंदुओं पर विचार विमर्श निकलेंगे, मैं पुनः इस इनॉग्रल उसको आप सभी से साझा भी करेंगे, मीडिया के भाइयों से भी बात कर रहा हूँ, और इस इनॉग्रल सेशन में पधारने के लिए आप सभी महानुभावों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, और मुझे इनवाइट करने के लिए। मुझे एक ऐसा मौका मिला, इतने प्रबुद्ध जनों के सामने मैं अपनी बात को रख पाया, ये मेरे लिए बहुत सौभाग्य की बात है। और मैं अपने मीडिया के बंधुओं से आग्रह करता हूं कि दिल्ली की इस पॉलिसी को इम्प्लीमेंट करने में आप लोगों के सहयोग की बहुत बहुत ज़रूरत पड़ेगी, तो इसको ग्रीन सिटी, एक अच्छी सिटी बनाने के लिए आप हमारा सहयोग कीजिए, हमारे साथ मिलके चलिए। बस इतना ही, ज़्यादा मैं इन चीज़ों का अनुभव मुझे है नहीं तो कोई गलत बोला हो तो उसके लिए क्षमा भी चाहूँगा। जी 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 जी, तो धन्यवाद सर।
आपने इतना टाइम निकाला और हमें हर तरह से आपने हमें हेल्प किया, असिस्ट किया इस प्रोग्राम को ऑर्गेनाइज करने के लिए। थैंक यू वेरी मच। सो नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट द creator of this program, who was actually leading us from the front, from like in day one, like from starting and initiating the entire concept note to the like idea and identifying the right people and the speakers. He really helped us and of course led us from the front. So we'll really like to invite the co-chair of this event, our Vice President at RITCO and MD Samak Development, and Mr. Gaurav Jain to host this session, please. Over to you, Gaurav sir.
So we are now 7 minutes into the next session, so I'll keep myself very short and sweet. It's a fantastic, I would say, response to a very nascent thought. Once this policy came in public domain, and I, remember talking to our friends in DDA somewhere in February, it was like we can call it a rains in the very high summers of June in Delhi, that at least something has come back where, we had lost hope for the last 7-8 years that, it's happening. It's been happening. Actually, many people, as Bhupender Bhai rightly said, people waited and a lot of marriages could have been done in a better way, but, because policy was not there, so it didn't happen. The whole idea is to, with the platforms of NAREDCO, NIUA and DDA being together, to very openly, frankly discuss, and I'm very happy to see the response. I think we have had the fantastic, representation from all walks of life. As we know from the program today, we divided the program into 4 parts. Part number 1 being, our existing farmhouses where they have their own peculiar issues. B, the opportunity in the proposed policy. Therefore, we have seen grade 1, 2, and 3, very, very high quality thoughts have gone. Earlier it was either you be a farmer or a house. Now you got a farmer, a house, and some kind of business, some kind of play areas, and many, many more things have come into play. Third is the technical session, which talks about purely the nuts and the bolts, why 6 meters, why not 9 meters, and vice versa. And fourth is the legal part of it. In this country, I think at the end of the day, everything falls into the legal brains, We got a friend here, Avnish is here from Khatan and Company, so he'll be leading the show at that time. The point is, we are trying to cover every part so that once the policy starts, it gets implemented. There is no pushback. Earlier policy got pushed back by one letter from one of the government officers, and it took 8 years for it to come back on the track. Now, obviously, our next door neighbors, both Haryana and Noida, and Talwar Saab, has been the doyen of our, both industry and the chairman of NAREDCO. The policy making is so much easier in Haryana. I can assure you that, if case there's something to be done, and there's an open case, it just goes, discuss, couple of deliberations back and forth, it gets done, So I would say that somehow the process of policy making should be only to support the cause, which is the development of Delhi in the right direction, whatever it means, After all, we have seen that, for last maybe 50 odd years, we have not seen a decent colony coming up in Delhi. Every farmhouse development which is there today has all taken a shape of a very sporadic developer. Radhe Mohan Drive never started up a Radhe Mohan Drive, the Bund Road never started up with that. It just kept on getting one after the another, and with the very high quality private initiatives, everybody has done a fairly good job, So my understanding is, right or wrong, every policy has its pluses and minuses. Even the Constitution of India has gone changes. And we are here to support the policy. We are saying let's get it implemented. And over a period of time, whatever are the pluses and minuses, I think we'll all write it together and we'll change it. The only one plan I want to show you, which is here and on your screens right now. The area we're talking about is a very small area. This is the only part of Delhi which is left. Delhi 1100XY, the pin code, will disappear either into a slum area or into a planned development. Everybody in the country, everybody in the world, no capital city has such kind of a, I would say, skewed development behavior where an unplanned development goes unabated and planned development waits. My peripheral village, if you see, and some of the green zones, this is a very small area. It's not a big area. And the point is, if you let it happen the way it is happening, I know one of the developments we have done in some of the last villages here, there, the next door neighbors are today my illegal slum dwellers, or they've done illegal developments there, because they say, how long can we wait? They waited long enough. The advantage is there's a demand. That's the reason we have 150 people on Zoom. We got 40 very high quality eminents sitting in front of us, and we got a panel of 20 very high eminent personalities who are contributing to the fact. So this shows there's an interest. As long as we can get our development model and economic models in place, I think we are done. This is an area where government can generate a fantastic revenue. I can assure you, with the right prices, everybody who's sitting here is willing to walk the talk. So without taking any further time, I first of all, with my sincerest thanks to DDA for, Manju ji and Manisha ji being here on behalf of VC DDA. He could not come. I'm told he's got some pressing urgent, commitments, which we understand, LG has been tweeting for last couple of days that, they've done deliberation on master plan 2041, number 1, number 2, number 3. So this shows there is a urgency everywhere. I sincerely also thank Dr. Vaidya to be here with us, because his opinions meant a lot to us. After all, we call you the architect of this policy. Whether right or wrong, I think you still have to take the credit for that, So, and, most importantly, Bhupinder Bhai for having, brought us some of the eminent people in place. And Talwar Saab, he's our, guiding force. He's a somebody who is Delhi. So a lot of people ask me, for example, where are you from? I said, I'm from Delhi. He said, nahi, wo to theek hai, but where are you from? We said, yeah, we are from Delhi. So, to say that where you're from, when we say my grandmother's side, they had a house in Delhi 6, so that breed is gone. Who is Delhi? So I think most of us sitting here are Delhi. We feel for the city. We, I would say we want to be really a part of it. Agarwal Saab sitting at the back, he created Western Greens once upon a time. So why not he would like to be part of this once again. So at the end of the day, I think what was done in 91 could not be done after 20 years thereafter, So the point is, why do we stop? So I think let it be a new beginning. Let it be something we can be proud of. As Vaidya Saab has said, once we see these peripherals, we can have a cyber city somewhere, we can have a Gurukul somewhere, we can have a club somewhere, we can have a very high quality, housing residential enclaves. So, and I think it's all par for the course. We are ready to walk the talk. So thank you for being here with us. Next session will start maybe in 10 minutes time. And Jayashree is here with us, very, very, I would say, eminent personality in the media world, and she is known to ask hard questions. I think Manish Agarwal from, Western Green Association, who is also a dear friend of Satya Developers, is somewhere in the panel on Zoom. She grilled him yesterday, so I would say that somehow let's roll it out. Thank you for being with us. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, sir, I will request, we have few questions over Zoom platform. If you would like to take it right now, or please, sir.
Number one is that, of course, thanks to everyone for being here. I think we're very lucky to have such panels over here. If you can take time out and spend the day here, believe me, it will be great for the city and marvelous for all of us to learn something, because I think great care has been taken by Gaurav and DDA to draw up 4 sessions really with the best people in who can speak. So I would love to remain. We do have a DDA, as you know. The LG today, the chairman of DDA, is a former vice chairman of DDA. He's also been the secretary urban development. So I'm sure these are issues which are very, very dear to his heart, and any kind of deliberations during the day today will go a long way in giving him, food for thought and food for implementation. The last part which I want to say is, we are all doing urban, since we are all connected with urban and with Delhi. I think on behalf of every city in this country, especially Delhi, we need to thank one frontline warrior who are not mentioned. Those are your Safai Karamcharis. Those are the people who provide you electricity, and those are the people who provide you water. I think we've seen during the last 1 year that things which have faultlessly and without, the police has done a great job, the doctors, the hospitals, everyone, the government has done a great job, but I think we need to mention those also who find no mention at all. Our Safai has been great in this town. Water supply and electricity have never faltered. So I think we owe it to them also to be called at least back of the frontline warriors, but they've been absolutely marvelous.
So I'll, if you allow me to ask, so Hitesh ji, it's for you. What are the guidelines and amendments of upcoming new master plan of Delhi 2041? So we have only one question, which if you would like to,
wait for it. It's still under deliberation, so before
great.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. So I will request Rajesh ji also to please join us for a photo opportunity. So we are just winding up our inaugural session here. Rajesh Goyal sir, our Director General, please. For I once again and thank you everyone in the panel and to be here with us in this morning. Thank you once again for joining us, sir. Thanks a lot.